was nice to have such a great friendship for us to have throughout. So we were lucky.
That's for Disney. That's
Disney
shot there, like down the camera. Big thumbs up.
The guilty man must be identified and evidence listed. I am not above the laws of England, Matthew.
Well, no, my lord, as no man should be.
You will not fail me, neither of you. The house must fall.
Firstly, I was watching thinking that I need to see a job description for a lawyer in Tudor times, because this whole thing just feels like above your pay grade.
Overworked, underpaid.
Exactly. What made you want to play this character?
Oh,
to be underworked and overpaid.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's such a brilliant character. There's so much to love about him. But I think I loved all the kind of the difference in him. He's strong, but he's vulnerable. He's kind of stubborn, but can be quite gentle. He's got a real sense of justice, whilst having so much injustice done to him in the world he lives in. And I think all those kind of contrasts in him, as being perceived as weak, but actually being such a strong character, I guess that kind of speaks to me. People can perceive me as that sometimes. I think certainly being a lot of disabled people will chime with that. And he's the leading man. He's the hero, and he's And I love what kind of hero he is, and it's just it's a cracking story with cracking characters, and So how could I say no?
I'm quite interested in that period of history anyway, and I've always found it quite fascinating. All the kind of monumental shift from Catholicism to the Church of England, to Henry VIII's head of state, and all the beheadings. I think we're all fascinated by that macabre kind of feel to those ages. But so I read up about Thomas Cromwell, and looked at his background and what he was like, tried to get an idea of his nature and his character, his kind of ruthlessness, his mischievousness, the corruption that surrounds him, and a very juicy, interesting character to play.
It's a bit haunting because he's there the whole way through.
Yeah.
He just keeps being mentioned.
It's like shadow.
Yeah, we said that earlier. His name is evoked to kind of
fear.
For fear. Yeah.
Horror.
People kind of bristle at his name, and it's that is real power, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. And it was like on his second Henry VIII.
Yeah.
But he facilitated, he managed to. The divorce of Catherine of Aragon, and then for him to marry Anne Boleyn, and then he made a cock up with Anna Cleves. I think he didn't not think Henry was too impressed by that. So I'll leave it to that.
Someone here, someone within St. Donatus, did falsely arrange to meet with King Henry's commissioner and did cut him dead. I will find you.
Well, I first saw Arthur in a play years ago, I think in 2016, in a Jack Thorne play. What was it called?
Solid Life of Sugar Water.
At the National Theatre, and I remember it's that rare thing when you're like watching a play and someone comes on, you've never seen them before, and you're like, who the hell is that? I was just so taken by his talent. And when I was told that he was going to play Shardlake, it was a no-brainer. I really wanted to work with him. And then we got on set, and the first day we were just having the crack and just laughing. And I think we were trying to, it feels like a cop, like a buddy movie or something. These two unlikely characters, two lads that don't want to be put in a situation with each other, have to save their own bacon, because Cromwell's gonna give them the axe if they don't, go through with this. So it was like, we just had so much fun, and it was like such a real joy to work with each other.
Yeah, and likewise, I think watching, Anto's career through the years, which I was also aware of, and we'd met once, I think, at that play, and then so to have, when I got the news that he was playing Barrack, I was like, God, that's just so perfect. I'm so looking forward to working, just to getting to know each other. I think I knew that we'd get on really well, and boy, we did. It was just so much fun, I think.
Great to have that relationship.
Oh yeah.
With having to start.
Absolutely.
Already established.
Yeah. I think, and and we, you just really need that for the two of them actually, because there's a deep love between them. Even no matter how much they butt heads, I think they are like they really do need each other in these situations they're in, and so it was nice to have such a great friendship for us to have throughout. So we're lucky.
That's for Disney.
Yeah.
Disney shot there, like that, down the camera. Big thumbs up. Yeah, we do sparkle.
Yeah.